So today I'm off with this little beastie. This is my rotivator that I use for my veg patch, and I'm off to rotivate where the pigs have dug up the whole area, and a huge area, hopefully just going to scratch up the surface and sow a load of Phacelia into it today. I've had to just spend quite a bit of money getting my trailer fixed because the lights at the back always get rattled and jump up and down, and for years and years I've had a problem with it and I never can get the lights to work. Turns out that it wasn't just the lights, it was the actual earth, and I just found out that the reason why it wasn't being earthed properly was the fact that where you plug the electrics in, that was all metal as well, and that was welded to the truck. And the weld had broken. I tied it back on with cable ties, as you do when you're in a hurry. And it turns out that the earth wasn't earthing then because of it. But the long and the short of it is, I now have a trailer I can use all summer. My trailer, all fixed. Cost about £500 to get everything done on it. But I've had new lights put on, new wiring. The guy spent a lot of time, very diligent, did an absolutely excellent job. And now I'm like going, hey look, I'm turning left. Hey look, I'm turning right. It's like a joy to have the trailer on now. I'm not worried about getting stopped. I worry about things like this for me because I just can't be doing with the hassle. I just want hassle-free days where I can go off, but I'm not going to get pulled over by the gendarmerie because they're pretty strict on their road laws over here, quite rightly so. And it means that I can function properly and not have to get pulled up and then go and get my trailer inspected and stuff like that at a later date. That's what I've done with a lot of my equipment this winter, apart from my rotavator, which I've just got back, which needs some TLC, which will get it soon. But I'm using it today just to get these jobs done while the weather is good. Again, I'm just going to go for it the best I can and use this good weather because it won't last for long, and I want to get this done, and it's the perfect opportunity. So we've had 2 weeks of dry weather, and if I'm ever going to get that pig place rotavated, today's the day. While I'm free to talk for a few seconds, I just wanted to mention how much fun my Zooms have been over the winter. I've done 3 talks in 3 weeks, 2 on Asian hornets, with keeping bees with Asian hornets, and one I did last Wednesday with the Cambridgeshire Beekeepers Association, which I really enjoyed. And I was watching it again yesterday and I couldn't believe how many questions we actually answered. I mean, I know there's loads of ways of doing things, but I really felt that we reached out together and we shared a good bit of information on basic good husbandry and helping people to have a go at rearing queens, because I just still feel that if you have the resources at your disposal, even if it's 2 of you working together, it's still worth doing it because it broadens your horizons so much and grows your experience with beekeeping when you raise queens. As you know, I'm quite addicted to it, and I'm always sharing what I do with it because it's just like amazing when you just get everything right. It's a process you work to and you get these lovely queen cells. But anyway, the long and the short of it is it's a great thing to be able to do, and it's a really good skill, you know, to be able to raise your own queens. And it is a good, it's not just that, it's the next level of beekeeping, that if you push yourself to it and you do raise a few queens, you really understand on the way, you pick up so many extra things, so many things. And then when you see that in your colonies afterwards, I keep telling people, when you see that after, you'll understand it more, the reasons why bees do the things they do. And it's all connected with the queen rearing process and hopelessly queenlessness and raw jelly and emergency impulse and swarming, and it's all there. It is everything that you see when you're an amateur, that as you become more of a higher number beekeeper, you will grow, because you can raise queens and you grow a lot more and a lot better. So I managed to reverse right up here, and I actually put some tape on these trees. I'm not sure if you can see that, because it helps me reverse up this 3 little passageway I've got when I get to this apiary. There's one there, one there. If you don't have that, you end up hitting a tree, which I've done once before, and it's not advisable. But I'm just saying this because I can actually get into this apiary because it's dried out so much. But let's have a look at the ground. It is a little bit sticky still, but up here it's drier. And the whole idea of this, I'm just scratching up the surface, just leveling off these lumps. So I'm going to whiz around. They haven't been in here, looks like, for a while now, because there's this creeping buttercup is regrowing. You can see that's creeping buttercup. There's grasses starting to push up, but I want this level before the season, so I can I'm just going to sow this. I've got some flower seed I'll show you in a minute, but the bees are flying a little bit here, which is good, and they've all had pollen sub here as well. So I'm going to get this rotivated, leveled off, and then just scatter some seed right through it, mostly that bit. This bit I'll probably leave here to be more grass, because I don't particularly want to put flower seed in it, but you know what, I probably will anyway, and we'll just have to trample some of it down when we work the bees, but it will still benefit around the bees. So let's get on. Great to be out doing stuff. And there we are. That is it. That'll do. It's not perfect. It's still lumpy here and there. There's a little bit moister soil, but it's evened out the worst lumps, broken the bigger ones down. And now I can get on with my bees and get this stuff sown. Some bees flying nicely, not one sting. Famous last words. Bees fly nice, they're bringing some pollen. A couple of weaker colonies here, but the rest are looking okay. So that's all going to have Phacelia in the back part, and the front here, just about a metre in front, won't have any, because I'm going to be blowing my bees off in the spring when I have the spring harvest, if we have a harvest here. But that's my plan, so I'm not going to sow right in front of the bees, because I want to make sure that the bees can crawl back up the little ramp I'll put there, and it'll be trimmed after when the grass starts to grow again there. But the majority of it is clear now. Just a good little job done. I'm going to sow some Phacelia in this part, and I'm going to talk to you about the Phacelia now. And that is a job in itself. So this is a sack of Phacelia I bought, and it's a 10 kilo sack I bought. It cost me about 65 euros yesterday. This one actually comes from Budapest. Why, I don't know. But anyway, if you don't know Phacelia seed, okay, it's an absolutely tiny seed. And the thing is, you can't hold it in your hand, because this is me gripping it as tight as I can. It's hard, it's still coming out when I'm gripping it. I'll try and show you on a piece of paper what it actually looks like. And very roughly, this is what I'm going to need to sow. So it's a veritable nightmare. The easiest thing to do is mix it up, maybe with some sand or something, and help you distribute it. But for me, I'm just going to sow it. I've done this before and it works quite well. You just have to work out your rough weight of that sack, 10 kilos. So you know that for 1,000 square meters, it's going to be roughly 1 kilo. So you can work it down from there, and you can estimate roughly what you need. This is obviously too much, but I'm going to sow it over there and see if we have any left just by walking backwards and forwards. So that is done. Bucket empty. On to the next job now. I've got this other big area that was a huge dump originally, and they've just added a load more topsoil to it, so I'm going to go and scratch that up and sow that as well and see what happens. So we're back at the next place. There's my apiary, and this is the size of this land. It's just massive. It's actually an old dump for inert waste, but they've had to stop dumping because of it was supposed to be not used years ago. I mean, I'm so grateful I've got a key. I'll try and get out, stay away from all this politics, but it shouldn't have been used recently. And all the soil you can see there is like 4 foot higher than it was. They've dumped absolutely hundreds and thousands of tons of subsoil and inert waste in this place again, but it's all been leveled. And to be honest, it's probably worked out better for me, because here the gravel is now a little bit harder, and I used to get stuck here before, and it's in the middle of nowhere. But this place here, I'm just scratching the surface, and you can see all I'm doing is just tickling it up with this I'm just tickling it up with the rotavator, just to get a little bit of space so that seed can fall down into it. And it's a long job. There's loads of piles of rock and stone, and I'm just having a go. I don't know why I'm doing it really. I'm probably wasting my money, but at the end of the day there'll be a load of food for my bees in about May. So that's my aim. The bees are flying really well here. There's loads of this, loads of gorse, and loads of goat willow here, which is just about to come into flower. So look at the gorse over there. It's pretty amazing actually. At the back there you can see absolutely loads of it all over there. Pretty good stuff. So I better go on with this. I'll put you on a time lapse and you can see what's going on. Well, that's it, done. I've done as much as I wanted to. It's really hard graft, as you saw, but all I needed to do is just to scratch up the surface, because it's only early March. There's a lot of rain coming. I'm going to sow. So I've done from just by that patch in front of that patch of gravel all the way up to that mound of earth up there, and along where you see the blue pile of debris, a little bit up from there, and then this corner as well. So I've probably got about maybe 700-800 meters squared. Quite a big area, which is brilliant. So that'll all be sown in a minute, the same method. It's a lot of walking today. I'm going to be exhausted tomorrow, but at the end of the day, this is very poor soil. I don't know whether it's going to be you know, whether it's going to do much, but you've got to try, and to have an opportunity like this to try is worth it to me. You can hear it's wet underfoot. It's just the surface that's really that's what I'm keen to do this now, because it's the perfect time, and all you need is just to get that seed, to give it the chance, just to get into some soil. So you can see here, I'm now sowing this whole area in a grid pattern. I'm going up and down first. I haven't got the camera quite right for this angle, but it gives you the idea. Whatever you're going to do, work out the surface area, go up, down one way with half the seed and go across it with the other, and you get a rough distribution, and it works pretty well. If you haven't seen Phacelia, this is what it looks like. It's a lovely flower. It is obviously only short lasting. You'll get about sometimes, well, maybe three months out of it from start to finish if you're lucky, but it is really good, and it's well worth sowing if you've got some land that's free, just to give the bees something else, something different in your area. It's a lovely plant. It does help condition the soil. It eats up a lot of nitrates. It's really, really good. A lot of the farmers use it here, but it is a little bit more expensive than the straightforward mustard that a lot of farmers sow. That's why you don't see it so much, but it is really good. Anyway, I just obviously am adding this bit to the video because I didn't finish off when I finished sowing, just to say that I've just been up to the workshop this morning. We're absolutely going to be so busy this week. I've got loads on. We're making feeder shells, or we call them in French, arrêts nourrisseurs. In other words, they're like eeks to put on top of our hives because we haven't got enough for this year. We've got loads and loads of stuff to do. We have got on with a lot of the jobs, but there's still like loads to do. I've got a few more frames to finish cleaning for the spring. The hives are looking great. They're really strong. We're going to probably be able to do a spring inspections next week, I hope. So there's all that to do. I've just ordered 200 queen cages to put my queens in the summer to give a brood break, and I'm going to go through those with you. I've also just received 120 hornet traps from Vita Pharma. So they are they're going out this week as well. There's just like such a lot of work to do. Do you think we're not busy right now? It's going to be suddenly bang. And in 2 weeks time, the clocks go forward and we'll get that extra hour. So, I'll get up to you on all those things, but whatever you're doing, hope you have a great weekend, and we'll catch you again soon. Bye for now.